the second thing that's going to be leading into from mobile defense and static defense. This one, the static defense, static positions, sorry, increases your organization by quite a lot. 15 decreases your division speed and increases your enforcement rate, whereas this only increases division speed and organization by 5. Now, as much as I like the division speed plus 10%, I feel like it's quite good. I still think that the 15 organization is superior. However, with the 10% soft attack, considering how important soft attack is, that's much better than the hard attack. So that's why I went for the mobile defense. So early mountain infantry, that's going to be useful in the terrain that we're going to be facing. We could go for some extra companies, but I still feel like that's not the best decision because we're going to have trouble getting a lot of aluminum to actually produce that stuff. We're going to go for the early tank project because that's going to decrease our research time. Not really because we're going to go for tanks any particularly quick, in any quick time fashion. Okay, so we actually got the mounted troops, which means that we can get our field guns on some of our infantry divisions. Not heavy artillery. Artillery. Okay. So there they are. Okay. That was actually calculated quite nicely. I'm pretty proud of that. And some of them need some extra training. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and get some training. And okay, so just if you want to see what's actually happening over here, it's clusterfuck. Rebel troops spawn, I think, pretty much all over the place. I haven't played over here, so I don't really know how it works. But they do get, well, an inferior amount of troops compared to the central government. But there's definitely something that makes them, and I'm talking about the Republicans, that makes them quite fearsome, is the fact that they cut off a lot of troops over here in Manchuria, quite a lot. Gonna get the third artillery. So as you can see, our soft attack is already quite ridiculous just from that artillery. As you can see, 4 infantry battalions give less soft attack than 1 artillery battalion. So it's pretty ridiculous how important artillery is. And that's going to give us an edge over the Ottomans. The Ottomans are pretty much artillery-less, usually. We're having a problem in terms of manpower. That's going to be rectified by Italy, thankfully enough. The way you actually get manpower as Serbia is you get national focuses. There are some national focuses that give you manpower. For example, the Italo-Turkish War opportunity, which is what the Italians just enabled us to get. So let's rush straight down for that. The Italo-Turkish War was a conflict over Libya. The Italians thought they were really cool in invading Libya. They weren't. The oil in Libya actually got discovered after World War II. So essentially, the Italians went over a very costly war to take Libya, and they got what essentially one Italian politician actually defined as a big sandbox. Libya. They called it a very big sandbox, essentially denoting that it was useless. And then, after the Italians got defeated in World War II and handed over Libya to an independent government, well, they discovered oil. So, that's just Italian politics for you sometimes. South Pole reached. Who did it? British. Yay. Our soon-to-be allies. So that's pretty good for us. So, right now, let me trade with Russia. Oh, they're going very aggressive very quickly. When are they going to get down here? Yeah, to fight us, they actually need to... To fight us, they're going to need to wait until we've completed the first Balkan War. Which is fine. Really good for us. Yeah, I don't see any other way for them to get a war goal on us. That's fine. So we're going to get all these guys and move them down. Since at this point it's pretty clear that nothing weird will happen from Bulgaria and Austria. And we're going to get planning for the war against the Ottomans. I don't like having all my troops over there, actually. I like having my troops more towards Macedonia and South Serbia. The reasoning for that is because we have cores on them. And also East Macedonia, we have a core on that. So if we can get this area quickly, we can get a lot of manpower out of it. So field artillery upgrade is going to be our last artillery upgrade before 1914. Unfortunately, we're going to go for the heavy... No, we're not going to go for the heavy industry 2. We're going to go for new surgical instruments, which is going to decrease our supply consumption. That's going to be pretty good. And then infantry recovery rate is obviously pretty useful for us. A little bit of lag. Italy seems to be doing fairly well against the Ottomans. Managed to surround the Ottomans in Cyrenaica and took over Benghazi. That's pretty good for us because the more troops the Ottomans lose there... Ooh! Italy actually invaded Thessalonica. What the hell? That's the first time I've ever seen Italy do that. That's ridiculous. It's gonna be fun. So, diplomatic effort. Gonna get the Balkan politics. And then we can get nothing in terms of economy and conscription, unfortunately. We're gonna go for the industrial concern. We're gonna get some of our research underway. So there's the white piece, and you're gonna be seeing quite a lot of white pieces in the mod. That's to make sure that some countries don't have to fully occupy an enemy in order for them to capitulate and get a peace treaty going. A bit like how the normal game simulates the Soviet-Finnish War. Or, sorry, Winter War. You're gonna be more accurate about it. So the Treaty of Lausanne is the treaty between the Ottoman Empire and Italy. They have signed it, and they haven't gotten the Dodecanese. Oh no, they have actually... Okay, they've gotten the Dodecanese. That's... Okay, fine. And they've also gotten Libya. So that's going to be a little bit less power to the Ottomans, which is really good for us. The Ottomans actually have a national spirit that decreases the communism support, which is quite interesting. Oh yeah, right. One other change is the fact that it's not as easy to get ridiculous levels of political stuff. You cannot really get the revolutionaries or demagogues. So to actually switch ideology, you're going to need to rely on events and national focus trees. Usually national focus trees rely on the Russian Revolution having fired to get communist support to someone, which is interesting, to say the least. So in case we want to go communist later on, we're going to need to wait for Russia to, not get its... Yeah, we're going to need to wait for the revolution to fire. And then we can get... Yeah, Barutana or Bilitsevo for some infantry, small arms research time reduction. We're obviously not going to need Air Force and Navy staff anytime soon, so, yeah. That's just the Duke of Luxembourg. I don't think anyone cares. So the Ottomans have brought up some troops over here, which is not going to be that fun to fight against, but oh well. So I believe we have enough infantry equipment for a while. I'm going to switch that over to armored car production. Yeah. You go away and... Oh, right. I've already got some production of armored cars. So I'm also going to increase the production of horse-drawn vehicles because we want to have the ability to get the field hospitals. For some reason, this division is not trained. We're having some manpower troubles, but we're going to fix them soon enough, which is fine. And let's get hospitals going on our divisions. And waiting until the hospitals are actually up and running to get the exercises going. Not really sure what I could research right now. Oh, in case you're wondering where paratroopers are, they're down here. You can't obviously get paratroopers this early on in the campaign. I could go for early fighter. It takes quite a while to research early fighter, which I like, actually. Shouldn't be something easy to get. I feel like also tanks should be a little bit harder to research, but you'll see soon enough. We're going to go for the anti-Ottoman policies. Don't want appeasement. Gonna go for tank designer. Right now I can't build any factories, so we're just going to be waiting for our trenches to be completed. Yeah, it doesn't look like any of these guys need any training, so that's fine. I'm going to go for mining, trying to get some extra timber. Timber is obviously going to be pretty decent for our trade, because, yeah, it may be just timber, but... Oh, Rip Titanic. They said it was unsinkable, but it isn't. Yeah, obviously it may just be timber, but we're just getting civilian factories from it. We're getting free civilian factories, which is quite nice. How much are we getting? I believe 2? No, 0. Wait, what? We're exporting 12. Current exports, nothing. Oh, we have 12 left for export. Right, okay, fine. The Olympic Games in Stockholm. We will attend. Okay. The second event is actually pretty funny because their second Olympics event in this game in 1916 is supposed to happen in Berlin. And it was pretty funny because in one of my campaigns, it was like basically a war zone. They were fighting around here. So they were basically having the Olympics in a war zone, which was quite interesting. Oh, maybe... Yeah, he cannot actually advance because he's a little bit too depleted. We're gonna need to wait until he's a little bit more ready. So we've actually gotten enough motorized. I don't think we're gonna need all that many horse-drawn vehicles later on. We can probably produce some extra support equipment. Yeah. Since we have the aluminum, we might as well do it. Anti-Ottoman policy, great. We're gonna get some extra manpower over here. Gonna be great. Out here, we could go for a captain of industry. I guess he's gonna be fine for now. Yeah. Then an aircraft designer, probably Mikhailo Martsep airplane workshop. Actually, Icarus is the same, but it doesn't have an icon, so it's obviously inferior. Mining. We could go for some extra mining or some war medicine. Yeah, war medicine. Yeah, we're basically lacking in manpower, which is not fun, but yeah. Okay, so we do have some armored cars, actually, so we can change around our cavalry division a little bit. Oh, that's quite a lot of... That's expensive. We're gonna need to wait on that. But it's okay, once we get the Italo-Turkish War opportunity, we're gonna have the... we're not gonna be able to do it in the... Yeah, we're not gonna be able to do it before the war starts with the Ottoman Empire, which is unfortunate. We don't really have that much growth. Only 107 growth of recruitable population, which is quite unfortunate, but oh well. So we're gonna get that juicy manpower. Gonna get the Balkan League going, which is only 35 days. Finally, we have some manpower. That's not only going to be useful to get our divisions up and running, but it's also going to be useful in case we get losses during the war, which is going to happen. We are going to get losses during the war, obviously. So we're going to do this exercise, get our troops up and running. which actually, funnily enough, lowered the threat level of the Ottomans. They're sending all their shit away, which is interesting. It should be the opposite, but oh well. And actually, that racked us up to 25, so we do have the ability to get the armored car in our cavalry division. That's awesome. And that's probably going to be enough to push them down. So we're going to try to get them back up to level 3 regular. So the Balkan League. The Balkan countries have come together together to form the Balkan League, a military alliance stated to have been built up against Austria-Hungary. Though the alliance target are the the Ottomans, it seems far more likely that the state that... Though the alliance target seems to be the Habsburgs, it seems far more likely that the state that divides these 4 nations, aka the Ottomans, would be their target. So the Balkan League was obviously put together to fight the Ottoman Empire, but hey, you never really say in politics what you actually mean, so I guess they said that it was against the Habsburgs. We could go for Lazar Pachu? Nah. Smooth talking charmer, passionate gentleman. Yeah, none of these are too useful. Guess I could go for Stoyan over here, but I feel like Mikhailo Marchep Airplane Workshop is going to be more useful in general. In a surprising move, several rival states, including Serbia and Bulgaria, have come together to form the Balkan League, a military alliance stated blah 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 blah. It's the same as the one before. I don't think we're going to be able to get these guys. Maybe. Both of these national focuses, both the Balkan League and the Liberate the Balkans, are only 35 days, so that's pretty good for us, because it's obviously kind of a surprise move that we're doing. I guess that's why it's so quick. And we have 18 divisions, which is fine. I would have liked to have a mountain division, but you can't have everything you want, so that's whatever. Ooh, we could actually... we could go for a second artillery battalion in our divisions, but it's a bit too late right now. And thankfully for us, the Ottomans have decided to be very graceful and send all their stuff to the border with Montenegro, our small little cousin down here. The Bulgarians also have a fuckload of troops at the border. Yes, you can tell that I'm using metric, internationally recognized units of measurement to actually talk about what they're doing. There we go. So the first Balkan War begins, and we're going to try to overwhelm the Ottomans. They're going to call Hejaz their puppet, and that's it. So right now, we're going to decrease the speed a little bit, because obviously we don't want to fuck this up. Bring it as quickly as possible down here. As you can see, the Turkish divisions are quite weak compared to our own, so it's going to be a cakewalk, at least for now. When they start to actually get their shit together and send a lot of troops after us, which they can do, because they're a huge Ottoman Empire, and not a tiny little Serbia, then we're going to have some problems. But until then, we're going to be pretty much unstoppable. We're going to get Ministry of Internal Affairs, actually. Maybe actually reorganizing the Serbian army might be decent, because we're going to need some extra land doctrine research. This is not a war that ends too quickly, usually. Yeah? Okay. So we're going to try to use our cavalry / armored car combined battle group to charge down to the coast as quickly as possible. Greece is obviously our ally, so we're going to need to get as quickly as possible near them. I could go for armored car 2, yeah. It's going to be fine. Then these guys, I'm going to have half of them proceed down with the main forces, and the other half go along the other route to try to fight the Ottomans on the western mountain flank, because over here there's also quite a lot of our corps. Okay, so we've actually managed to get down here. And this East Macedonia, it's very important that we get it, because it's also Bulgarian cores. So we're gonna need to wait and get as quickly as possible down here. Well, we're not gonna need to wait. We're gonna need to get as quickly as possible there so we can get the manpower from it. Just walk into the areas and conscript everyone, essentially. It's gonna be very important because you will see later what happens. Spoiler alert, things happen. Okay, that's not a good assault. Our superiority in artillery actually allows us to get some pretty daring assaults going. Stuff that normally would not be very advisable, especially in the mountain terrains around here. And actually, the Greeks seem to be doing fairly well because there's no Ottoman troops on the border with Greece. We're about to cut off the Ottoman route into Albania and our lands, so that's going to be very good. There's actually quite a lot of Ottomans kind of trapped over here. It is in my best interest to have them be trapped there and not, you know, running about fighting us. Unfortunately, they seem to be bringing in reinforcements from all over. And right now, I don't really want to get too many losses because, again, what is really the main weakness of Serbia is manpower. We've already lost 900 guys, which is quite a lot. We're going to wait for these guys to actually move away from that province. Ah, never mind. They're moving up a lot more stuff. So wait for these guys to get away and then pour into with my other divisions. We might be able to break them, even with the mountains. And then we're going to launch a attack from two flanks. But unfortunately, they brought up reinforcements, so no, that's not a good decision. And over here, we're going to lend another division to help out, thus giving us the modifier, giving the enemy the modifier of taking... No, wait! Oh, I feel really pretty much cheated. Usually you get a attack from multiple flanks modifier when you are attacked from multiple flanks. But, oh well, it seems like the game didn't want me to have it. Rip. That's 4 divisions. I don't think we can take them. So the main weakness of the Ottomans is obviously the fact that they have all these areas to defend here in the west, near Montenegro and Albania. And so we can essentially cut them off this way. We're going to try to reach down to Thessalonica. Probably not going to happen. Yeah, here comes the Ottomans. But that means that we can get this part of land. Okay, we managed to push through over here, and there's only one division over here, which is great. Because we can push through this one, then we're going to surround these 6 enemy divisions up here. We obviously want to do that. Oh, that's actually 5 divisions. I thought it was only 1. Just gonna wait for these guys to move and then go in. Also try a secondary attack over here. So we are actually making progress over here. It is estimated that the battle will last only 6 days, but I feel like it's going to take a little bit longer than 6 days. Would be very nice if we had an access to a flanking route, such as through this province, but unfortunately it's not going to happen. So we're by far losing the most out of our coalition, but we're also gaining the most, which is good. Unfortunately, the system for the war participation is not really that important because it's going to the end of the war is going to be handled by an event. So right now we're really making the big push, mostly because we want to get mostly because we want to get our core territory as quickly as possible before anyone can come in and steal it, because our core territory is going to give us the manpower back that we lose. And then we're gonna basically try to hold what we gained. As you can see down here, it's already Greece that is going to receive the provinces because it's Greek territory. Obviously, this also leads to some supply problems. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so we've managed to actually bottle up these 6 Ottoman divisions. That's great. We actually don't need any divisions over there to stop them. Because with the terrain that they're in, it's going to be really easy to avoid getting them rescued, as it may. So we've almost retaken all of our territories. We only need this sliver down here. Of course, the states are actually owned by us, which is good. We're already getting some manpower out of them. Montenegro wants to send some troops, but I don't really care. Not really that useful right now. So there are some supply problems over here. I wonder why. Previous bottleneck infrastructure in Montenegro. Really? Is that why? Because the supplies are trying to come from Montenegro instead of from Serbia. That's not fun. That is absolutely not fun. The infrastructure seems to be fine. I don't think we can repair any of it. So yeah, it must be because of this. That we actually got to Montenegro. The game thinks that we need to get the supplies through this way? That's a little bit ridiculous, but I'm willing to accept that it wants to do that. Because sometimes this game is a little insane. Just a little. Are the Greeks trying a naval... Oh no, that's the Bulgarians. They're trying a naval landing. Which is ridiculous. Or wait, no. Can't be. Seems like they're trying a naval landing. Oh well. Over here, we'd really like to push through, but since we have low supplies, then our attack and defense are lowered. Obviously, that's not going to work all that well. So we actually need to destroy these guys quickly. So we can open up a corridor. Now, the infrastructure in Montenegro is actually pretty decent. It's the fact that it's only one province that's separating them. That's the problem.